We are live. Welcome, 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 internet friends. Once again, we're here with another feedback bonanza. Today, we're looking at Bonk DAO and Bonk rewards. They are interconnected. They are related to our favorite community coin, Web3 community coin, Bonk. It started as a meme coin, a Shiba Inu themed meme coin, but it grew to something way larger, at least for the Solana community. It's integrated with many dApps. It's part of many different communities within the Solana ecosystem. It's used for tipping. It's used for rewards. It's used for events around the world. And they're a powerhouse. They're a powerhouse. And here we are to discuss a little bit their dApps when it comes to rewards and on-chain voting. And I'm joined by the amazing feedback crew from Deansley's DAO, real power users. We've done a lot of on-chain voting. We've participated in plenty of bonk related stuff. So I think there is no better crew to assess these dApps. Without further ado, let's go to Bonk rewards. I think my screen is already being shared. Yes, we look something which is pretty familiar. We've seen it before in our rewards, in our reviews. Bonkrewards.com. You'll see this is a place where you lock your tokens. You get some multiplier for your locked tokens, and you get some rewards based on that multiplier. There is some options, there are some amounts of tokens and some weights. I'm not 100% sure of what exactly this does. There isn't much information. But before I started commenting, I'm going to pass the mic to Scientist Joe. Scientist, what do you think we're seeing on Bonk Rewards? What do you think this does? And what issues have you faced so far?
Well, personally, I think we all know how Bonk started in the ecosystem, and it did come clutch for many builders. And this page is just a continuous representation of the good work Bonk has, done, and it has had a lot of impact right from the start. And yeah, on this page, you can see it's a platform for people who own the token. It's a very vibrant community, a very active community, and they are telling you you can come here, lock up some of your bonk if you don't know what to do with it, because for every token there has to be some sort of use case. And yeah, this page just diversifies its utility through this reward system where you lock for a particular amount of time, and depending on the time you lock, the longer time, the longer the rewards. So yeah, I think it's a good page, although I would argue it's very simple, or maybe a bit too simple. One thing I always tell builders is you want to try as much as possible to keep your users or your community on your platform. And when you think of it, you come here, you lock your token, and then you're gone on to the next thing. And considering the the short attention span we often have these days, it would be this platform could be more in the sense it could do a lot by offering more opportunities to engage, potential members who can also contribute. Yeah, it's a reward page in itself, and it does satisfy the purpose of, creating that reward. But also, I think it could, have more details added just to keep users interacting more.
Yeah, I agree with you that there is not much to do and it doesn't really keep you on this page. Untied Bear, any issues you found with the page? Anything that was not clear or wasn't working?
Yeah, not as maybe a small issue like on your page. I see the token address FIUJ. Maybe they could just put their logbonk and with still same link. That's a small thing, but as addition to keeping the user on the page, what I'm missing actually on this page, you can see it's a nice claim button on the bottom, but there's no history. As a user, it will be nice to see what did I claim so far, or what would be the calculated APY, like a return to whole, because user could be looking different amounts at different times with different durations. I think some user metrics would help to get maybe more user interaction. This is my
Yeah, I'm noticing the FYUJ. I think that's a mistake. They should have long bonk, and clicking there should take you to Solscan. Totally agree. Baba.
Yo, so I mean, again, the overall picture I think is rather straightforward. What a user has to do. So I'm gonna try find the small details. Some would say are not important, but they could have an even better overall image for a user. Um, One thing that I think is standard for now and nowadays that have in dApps is when depositing to be able to select percentages from the total amount that you have to deposit instead of currently you only have the max option. It again would be nice to have a 75, 50, 25% of your total holdings to add. um Other than that, I mean, this is, but I get the Bonk colors and why it's yellow orange themed. It is a bit difficult. I mean, the white, especially the text, with the values to read it, with the orange background. And the same goes if you click on the terms of service at the bottom of the page. It redirects you to a place this white with yellow background. Assuming that the terms of service is something that if you're interested, you want to read. It's important for you to read. It has to be a bit more legible. And other than that, I just had another, again, it goes with user intuition. If you go back to the page, the locking page, at the top where you have some settings where you can set the preset RPC and the custom RPC, and you have here the priority fee, the micro lamp ports, which is really cool. However, when you switch to the custom RPC, and it just adds the bar for the custom RPC, but still keeps the priority fee and micro lamports thing. Now, purely from a user intuition part, it'd be cool since it has this toggle to just have remove the other thing so that the user knows exactly what they're dealing with. Your custom RPC, you're switching. You're going to input a custom RPC. It has one text field to do so. Same if you're going for the preset RPC option, and how you can configure that. Small things here and there, not groundbreaking. But yeah, I think the main thing that I would have to agree is what Untied Bear said with the user metrics. The more user metrics you add, I think the more interactive it becomes. And from the moment that the overall functionality isn't great, by adding those user metrics, it can, again, incentivizes the user to stay more on the page, and who knows, lot more. Given the enough time. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree on the font color, and I also noticed because you took me there. When you click on the terms of and services, you don't get a back button, so there's no way for me to actually go back to the main website. I don't like that. I want a button that scrolls down with you as you're reading the terms. That you can always click and go back. Other than that, I totally agree with you. Legend.
GM. So honestly, not much from my side. I think it's pretty straightforward. Like even for a power user, for a simple user, for your friend that you onboarded with Bonk, it's pretty straight. You connect your wallet, you see the lock Bonk amount, duration, and lock it. And yeah, there's not much for me to say. I think one suggestion I will give is the description on how it works. It mentions like lock your Bonk to receive a percentage from the Bonk rewards pool. That the thing is like you don't see this percentage anywhere. You don't see how much. I assume you earn the rewards multiplier. I think that's your percentage. But I think some type of visualization, as Untied Bear said before, more metrics and more like visualization of the rewards, I think will stimulate the user and maybe a lot more. So I think it works both ways. But overall, it's just pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So not much to say. It's already pretty good if they wanna keep it simple.
I agree with the user metrics. I would like to see that those a pool of rewards. I mean, what is it? Is it just a wallet? Can I have a link to a wallet where I can click and go see what's in the wallet? Maybe those the total rewards, and then I can visualize what I'm getting, or at least the totality of the rewards is going to push me to get involved. I'm gonna keep back. I'm gonna hold back so I don't take any feedback from Takisol and Dean. So let's move on. Takisol.
GM, everyone. Yeah, the guys already mentioned it's pretty straightforward, the whole experience. A couple of notes that I noticed on my side. I've been playing around today, with the platform before our live here, and I've locked two different amounts of bonk for different time periods, and after experimenting a little, I'm trying to claim all the bonk that I've had so far, like let's say since yesterday, and I'm a bit stuck. So the website is stuck in the claim all function for me for the two locked bonk rewards that I'm trying to claim. This has been going on for like a little bit before we went live, so that might be a little bug that needs some care and attention. Other than that, I'm trying to nitpick a little. So yeah, at the very bottom, you see, the message brought to you by the team at Armada. It links you to the tweet, the highlighted word of Armada, and then you have the home button that it points to the Bonk Rewards website, which is that website. So there really is no point for a home button down there because it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't even redirect you to the top of the page, which is not very long to begin with. Plus, what I would like to see in the page here, I would like to see some options on what I can do with my lock bonk once I lock them. For example, a link maybe to the bonk dragon if there's a quest, or to the bonk DAO to vote, simple stuff like that, or maybe a link to the greater bonk ecosystem. Other than that, it's I like it. It's very simple. I like it also seems like a white label option that most likely Basketfy took an inspiration that we reviewed the other day. I would assume that Bonk came first with the reward side. So you can see some similar elements like the average weight, the total lock, the total weighted lock, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
I think.
Can you guys hear me?
I think we lost Takisol for a second here. We missed half of your sentence.
Oh, the last, did you, where did you, which part did you miss? I mean, the last part I mentioned was about the options I see, but that
Taki's
make me
connection
think
is
that it's kind of a
unstable,
white label
friend.
solution that most likely came
Let's
from Bonk, I would assume.
There is some issue with your connection, Takisol. We are getting half of what you're saying. I'm gonna pass the mic to Dean Machine, who's very familiar with these dApps. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, I think that Bonk is a very important part of the Solana ecosystem, and having something that's really simple for people to be able to interact with. They've managed that here with Armada, like super straightforward. It's very similar to what we reviewed with Baskify. I really like that the wallet support includes Backpack and includes TipLink. I think that those are, again, great ways to get people onboarded. You don't see TipLink as one of the standard options very often, so I think they did a great job there too. Totally agree on including other parts of the Bonk ecosystem like Bonk DAO, Bonk Dragon, making it more of a, once somebody comes to this destination, they know where else to go. I think that's a really easy way to just enrichen the Bonk ecosystem, because this is probably the most popular part of Bonk. I know a lot of people that know Bonk rewards but don't know Bonk Dragon or Bonk DAO, so this could serve to help there. I agree also on some points that Untied Bear and Legend gave around having more statistics around what's going on, how other people are interacting, what's in the pool, how much do I expect to have. That triggered a thought around the experience I first had using Solana and Radium. And, many of you guys might remember, liquidity mining and seeing the moment after you deposited, no matter how, much or little you deposited, you would see that claim number going up. And I feel like, with so many decimals and the way Bonk's valued, it's one of those trillion supply coins. You could easily have a number going up. That way you have that experience, right? Instantly I've locked it. Instantly I see it. I think that these claim amounts are refreshed probably like on a snapshot basis, maybe daily or something. I see I have a claimable amount on mine. So I know it works, but yeah, if there was one thing that I think I would focus on, it would be that, as far as like something that would require some engineering. On the low-hanging fruit, it would be to add Bonk Down, Bonk Dragon. Otherwise, again, I think this does exactly what it's supposed to be. Really easy way to have somebody enter Solana and applaud all of the wallet integrations.
Fantastic idea, Dean. Fantastic. Like having this claim amount, even if it's fictional, even if it's tiny decimals, go up slowly, even if you're not allowed to claim until the whatever snapshot requires to happen. It would be so much more enticing for someone to lock. I want to add that I want to have maybe a Jupyter widget. I want to have some way to buy more Bonk, to lock more Bonk without leaving the website. I think there is enough real estate to add somewhere, or at least a link to an AMM where I can safely buy Bonk, safely interact with the right contract, and go my way. One other addition I want to talk about is like, you go to the wallet settings, that's at least what you think it is on the top right. You click on it and you get the micro lamports value. Everything is user friendly and everything is noob friendly except this. I find this confusing. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody knows what it is when it comes to the meme coin enthusiasts or this side of the market, at least. We're not talking about engineers or Solana experts. So adding a micro Lamport's value where I can change it without knowing what's happening it's a little bit intimidating, at least for me.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Like, you've got this super simple thing, and then all of a sudden you have something that, you're right, it is intimidating. Also, not a really big fan of that transparency view. It's kind of like you're kind of seeing this, but not really. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was added during a time where there were RPC issues across Solana. But I think that's a really good comment.
True, yeah, the transparency is also a thing I didn't notice at first, but now that you mentioned it, it really stands out. And then you see this giant number in the billions on the back with just digits, and it's further more confusing. I'm not able to recreate it. I tried a couple of times. I had a bunch of transactions failing, and initially thought that there was a minimum amount. Apparently, that's not the case. I've managed to lock one token for a year, so that's it works even with the lowest possible amounts. Let me see if I can lock 0.1 for 6 months. And yes, you can lock 0.1 bonk for 6 months. That's pretty awesome. It all works. I'm not like, you get locked bonk. Is there a this is the current supply of locked bonk. Is it the only place? Is it the only place we get locked bonk is from the bonk rewards? Is this the only place where you lock and all the locked bonk is here, like 6.4 billion, and in the bonk rewards I see 3.8 million locked, or 7 billion, sorry, billion, 7 billion locked. Where here I get 6.4 billion as supply. How can this be? How can these two numbers be different? Shouldn't the total weighted locked tokens be the same as the total supply of locked bonk? How can we have a total supply of locked bonk at 6.4 billion, while on the rewards we have a higher number? Where are these? If these tokens are not minted, where are they? So by quickly clicking on the links the team provides, I have this, like, where is this half a billion tokens? Where are they? Are they minted? Are they not? Looks like they are not. So if any of you understands, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I would suggest to give some more metrics, as Untied Bear suggested and as a legend, so we understand where these tokens are sitting. Before we move to the next DApp, which is connected to Bonk Rewards, although there is no link and there is no connection, at least on first glance, this locked bonk can be used, and I think that's a huge miss from the team, because telling you that you can actually use your locked bonk, that's huge. That creates a lot of engagement, and it's not that you parted ways with your bonk. It's not like you locked it in a vault and you are leaving them behind. You can still use them. And we'll go to Bonk DAO. So you go to bonkdao.com, one word, and you'll find yourself at this tab here. It looks similar. Again, we have the Bonk colors. We see here powered by Realms, and we have an active proposal. I see the duration. I see that you can vote. I see when it was created, the address that created it. Then I see I have 0 bonk. Although I have locked, it says 0 bonk. I see lots of 1,404 comments. That's a lot of comments. I can click and it loads, and I get a warning about instructions. I'm scared of these red signs, warning, giant letter signs. My God. Also, thick text here. Not a lot of syntax. Not a lot of paragraphs. It's just one block of text. I am a bit lost, but let's hear from Dean Machine. I'm pretty sure he has some great suggestions since this is powered by Realms and used by Bonk.
I should probably
hear it
not
from the
go
expert.
first, just because I'm a little
Yeah.
connected and close
Totally-
to a lot of that work. I would
totally,
love to hear everybody else's feedback, and then I can come in at
agree.
the end.
Oh, we might have lost Dean Machine here. Let's go to Mr. Taki Sol, and let's hope we're not gonna miss him. We're not gonna lose his sound.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's kind of an irritating issue. Love the simplicity of the voter UI here. The warning that you say that it seems a bit scary. It should be scary in my opinion, so that you check out what's happening. I should point out that I see that if you click there, the link that says click here to see more details, and also click the link that is in the headline of the proposal, they take you to Realms to see more details about the proposal. And basically it's the same text, to be honest, that could have some more work, or a document, or a link to a forum, or whatever. Other than that, I see the comments there a lot. It should be pointed out that these emojis that you mentioned before, if you click on them to post them, they initiate a transaction so that you pay some sol. So that's kind of interesting. Of course, you can. Can you hear me?
I'm clicking on them and nothing happens, to be honest. Can you hear me? Yeah, we lost you for a second, but you're back. I'm clicking on them, but nothing happens.
For me, when I clicked, it initiated a transaction to post the emoji as a comment, basically. I can try now.
Yeah, anything you type here, if you write hello, should initiate a transaction.
Yeah, I checked again, and clicking on any emoji, it initiates a transaction, a pop-up to my wallet to approve the transaction, to post the comment. The emoji, basically.
I'm depositing Bonk now to the DAO, and most probably it will allow me to comment. I don't think it allows you to comment if you do not deposit any tokens.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So theoretically, yep, the moment I add, I can. So fire. I'm gonna pay some fees to add this comment. And here I am. I just commented.
Yeah, other than that, the comments for me, these are the comments for me. I'm also scared that my connection will break down again, so I'm going to pass the mic to the next gentleman.
I think that's Mr. Legend.
I mean, regarding the Bonk DAO UI page, I have some feedback, which some people also have the same feedback, which we can start with the icons at the end of the page. So the icons at the end of the page, they don't glow that out, they don't redirect to nothing. So I assume that's a bug report on this case. Also, at the bottom of the page, there's no, the text is very light color, so you don't see what it's saying. Like it's almost gray white on very bright yellow. at the bottom of the page. So that's another something that will maybe change to another color. And for the proposal, when you see this active proposal, you see it ends in 2 days, right? But you don't know like exactly when it ends. Like, does it end at 12 UTC, at 10 p.m., 9 a.m.? So I think this is a suggestion for a feature. So when you hover your mouse in the time limit where it says 2 days, it should display the full when it ends. Basically, like 12 p.m. UTC, that's when it ends, instead of just 2 days. Like, it's not clear when it's gonna end exactly. So that's a feature that should be maybe implemented. Another thing I want to mention is for the warning. So this specific proposal has a warning. So this proposal triggers instruction if passed. Okay. So this proposal triggers some instruction if passed. So there's the redirect button. Like, click here to see more details. So that's I think another thing that should be mentioned. I don't think that your average user should be redirected to another website when they click to see more details. I think it should be expand on the current UI instead of sending the user to the realms to see the instructions. So maybe that's something maybe we can be implemented or not, but it's also very useful for your average Joe voting on Bonk. Another feature maybe I would also say is maybe, so it is the Bonk DAO, right? So the Bonk DAO should have a treasury, and as a user, as a DAO voter, I think the treasury should be visible in the UI somewhere. Like, the DAO has like 1 million in Bonk, 1 million USDC, something like that. Like, maybe it's small type of visualization, but yeah, the DAO should display also the treasury if you are voting on treasury instruction, for example. And that's mostly it. Maybe some what settings are the DAO running? Who is the council? What's the quorum? But very minimalized. Like maybe in the top corner of the page, maybe a little icon where you can click and see the settings the DAO is running on. And yeah, overall it's very straightforward, and your average user will manage to add some tokens, vote, and then withdraw, and that's all you need from him. For more power users, they're gonna ask for more, as I said. So I think that's everything from me.
You made some really good points, Legend. Really good points. The urgency, displaying the timer, and having a countdown which reaches slowly to zero, and it urges the voter to go vote. I think it's powerful, and that's a great idea. Replacing this click here to see more with something which is digestible. What does the proposal do? In simple English, we had this hackathon application at some point where instructions were described in simple text instead of equations and weirdly named functions. I think that would be very powerful. Just click and have a pop-up small cloud or dialogue cloud to explain to you what this instruction is doing, instead of taking you to a very complicated instruction stub. So I agree with you a lot on many points. But before I continue and give my feedback, let's go to Untied Bear.
Yeah, I have a few small things. Like if you go back to Bonk DAO page and go to comments, what I see, the option load more comments is working, but I'm missing the go back or load less options, because it loads and then you can load even more, but going back is only way scrolling. And also, loading more proposals would be nicer to interact with as a list, maybe that the user has the option, but because as it is, it's showing the whole proposal from the past. There are, I think, in total like 5 proposals. So, but for the future, when there are more proposals, I think list would be a better option. And for me as last, maybe it's similar to your comment on the Bonk rewards page, is this is retail friendly, and this is, I think, really simple to use. But it would be even nicer if the user had the option to buy, or even maybe buy and lock right on the website itself without leaving the platform with a pop-up like they're adding at the moment. I think that would be really useful for this Bonk DAO website.
Good comments. I agree on the view less, because now I have this super long website and I can't really reach the top easily. So yeah, that would go a long way. Scientist, anything to add?
Yeah, I think everything, the major issues have already been outlined. I'll just add a few things I noticed while trying to, interact with the new UI. So once I got some Bonk in my wallet, I was able to, deposit it, but I noticed through the transaction I made, I was very low on Soul. So when I clicked the add button on the UI, I didn't know my Soul balance was very low. So it automatically told me deposit failed without prompting any transaction signing or transaction error. But I noticed on the old UI, on the old RAM's UI, which is, the official realm, not the Bonk DAO, when I deposit my tokens, it prompts a transaction, and then I can see clearly it says no change, and it shows the yellow, font that says this is a transaction that gives an error. So I think for me, I thought something was wrong. I had to clear my cookies on the web page just to be sure I wasn't, doing something wrong. So that was the first issue I had while trying to, deposit my tokens. So I wanted to suggest, something because I think the load more proposal button is a very good button to have, but I did mention something earlier on the Bonk rewards page, and it's somewhat similar here because by default you have only a single proposal here, and it does give the impression that this is the only proposal on this platform. So having, you know, by default a list of proposals appear once you visit. That way the user knows once he's done with this proposal, he can also view the previous ones that are already existing. The last thing I feel that is, so for the add button, we do want to encourage people to participate in governance, and it could also be maybe you have a zero balance. I noticed when I saw my balance was zero, I had to, quickly go to dictate. So maybe just a link that just redirects you it detects your balance is empty. By default, just redirect to a swap, or even an in-app swap could be integrated just for this purpose alone. Yeah, the only other thing I can add would be maybe more details on the DAO treasury and maybe quorum details as well. I'm not so sure what the quorum is, and probably the proposal settings. I don't know if there's a way to change that from this UI or it can only be done from the realms UI. So these are just few things I'm able to notice just from my first interaction with the Bonk DAO platform.
Great thoughts, scientist. From the panel here, I think we're missing Dean Machine, who's the expert when it comes to DAO voting UIs and
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Realms tooling. So I'd love to hear from him. Is Dean Machine with us?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 1, 2, testing, testing.
He is not. But sir,
Damn.
can I add some comments in the meanwhile?
Oh, Baba, did I skip you, sir? I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
It's okay. No hard feelings, sir. So just a couple things that came to mind as the guys were saying some pretty valid points, and just adding to what Antied Bear said about the comments. I think of course, you should be able to hide all these comments, because if you, especially let's say in the most recent proposal with 1,400 comments, if you expand all of them, you will have a massive list. So maybe you could make it so that you can expand once, or maybe once, well, even once, and then by expanding it, just what he said, it's like a physical list that you can scroll through with your mouse. The same from the proposals, and this would be a bit like stealing from the main, let's say, Realms UI, where uh, we could see the proposals, maybe like their title only, and then have a nice interactive flow when you click that. Instead of in the other Realms page, it opens a whole new page when you click on the details. Here it could just be a bit more interactive and like expand, and by clicking on them, yeah, you can have a list as well from the proposals, and you click on the title, and it expands to the bigger details. And also another point is, I understand that this is a simpler version of the other Realms UI, but I don't see the need to utilize only just the center of the page. I mean, by stretching it out and utilizing more of the page, unless there are stuff in the works that are going to be added to the side, everything can be a bit more clear, from the comments to the voting, which could be further broken down, and maybe put some red and green graphics to show the quorum, what it's reached. Again, similar to the other UI, but in a more minimalistic style. And again, the time to have it a bit more elaborate. Also, the state. Now it's voting, but if it's completed or if it's declined, maybe again a simple green dot might be a bit too difficult. Highlighting it green or having a border of it being green would be cool, I think. Another comment: the voting power at the top. There, if you click on the tokens that you have available, it has a rundown, right? Uh, Again, making it a bit more intuitive by highlighting when you hover over, or having maybe a small icon at the side that an information box to open up and display this information. The same with the withdraw and delegate. It'd be nice if by hovering over, you can see that these are clickable buttons. Um, and would just add, I think, to the intuitiveness of the page. Now, a final comment, assuming that everything's a bit more stretched and it can fill the space more and doesn't have to be as long as it is now. And this maybe is tailored, specifically to the bonk community, would be maybe the color scheme. I don't know if the yellow does it justice. Maybe if we could have, it has a bit of a darker theme with yellow accents, or yellow orangey accents. It could maybe improve the feel a bit of the overall page, make it a bit more modern, and also highlight the famous Bonk logo at the top better. Now it's, I think, everything's a bit merged. It's not very clear. And then finally, and I think this is really, really important. You guys mentioned it before, but I'll mention it one more time since this is a new page. since Bonk is is a community token, very big in the ecosystem, interlinked with a whole bunch of other platforms and communities. It's, I think, very important to be able to redirect from here to all of the other Bonk services directly. I know we said it, but maybe have like a header where you can directly switch to one another. I think it goes a long way, because the user can get the full feel of the impact of those tokens and what the utility that they have. That's all.
I totally agree, and it frustrates me that the buttons, the social buttons on the bottom, don't do anything. There is no way to connect or to understand that your Bonk rewards can be used locked in the DAO. I also see that when you click on the proposal, the remove button gets highlighted or doesn't. I think that's pretty. Like, I understand why this happens. I also see some people have profile pictures. There is no straightforward way for me to actually add my profile picture. There is no settings, profile settings. I would like to have my profile picture. We are recognized by our PFPs, so giving me a way to display it would make me happy for sure. I also don't agree with the add button. I think since we're using the withdraw and not remove, we should add deposit. So it's deposit and withdraw, add and remove. Let's keep it consistent at least. And I'm gonna also try to delegate my vote. So I'm gonna use a Bonfida name service. So I'm gonna send this to Legend. So let's delegate the tokens to Legend. I'm getting a pop-up and I'm confirming. I've already voted on this one, and here's my current delegate. Theoretically, Legend is now my delegate. He can vote on my behalf. What I don't like on this flow is that I cannot delegate part of my deposited tokens. I can only delegate all my deposited tokens. Again, a little bit scary. Every newbie in this world starts by sending $1 as a test transaction, making sure it works, and then maybe continues for more. The fact that you are prompted to send all of it or nothing is a little bit scary. That's mostly it. What I think is the most important thing here is connected with the rest of the ecosystem, the socials, the main pages, Bonk Rewards, Bonk Dragon, the main website. Give me the Twitter, the Discord, the GitHub, a bunch of stuff that I want to look at. And regarding the extra space, the real estate left and right, this is, at least in my eyes, this is made for a mobile experience. It's for sure way better, and I see it as the only way to interact with Realms DAOs from a mobile phone is to have this kind of voters UI, because if you try to load the normal Realms web page like this one, you'll see there is a lot of information that just gets cascaded down, and you are going to lose the the goal at least. So I see why this is optimized for a mobile experience, since the main site is not. So it works nicely. I see Din Machine is back with us. I left him last because he has the most valuable comment, since he's been working for a very long time in the DAO ecosystem. So let's hear it from Din Machine.
Hey guys. By the way, I'm at 1% uploading. I don't know. Does it still? Will it still work?
Everything is working. You might have to stay 3 minutes on the call after we finish, so your upload can
Yeah.
complete.
So, when I look at the Bonk voter site, I see a progression in the direction that Jupiter kind of created within the DAO space on Solana. So Realms has been the DAO tooling for forever, and then Jupiter DAO came along, and that's really brought a lot of new attention to DAOs. It's a lot easier as far as a experience for a new voter. So I look at what Bonk has done as kind of a progression, like an iteration of on top of what Jupiter did versus trying to like re-simulate what Realms has. The most difficult thing there is what can you do that you want to give to the user, to someone that's new, without confusing them and scaring them away, right? So if Realms had to decide to do the exact same as Jupiter, you wouldn't have anything like lock tokens to be added. Whereas you see, Bonk has made sure that you can also add your locked Bonk. That's not possible, in that kind of voting system. Delegation doesn't exist at all. So like, I totally agree. Like it would be great if you can choose a number. The decision really is, hey, do you add delegation at all, or do you just not have that capability? So I do applaud them for moving forward and having that capability. I also like the fact that they are showing proposals that do have instructions connected to them. This is something that, like, the DAO world, even though for us who are a little bit more hardcore, expect that proposals have transactions connected to them. None of the Jupiter ones do. None of the Futarchy ones do. So for most people, when they're voting on something, they don't realize this vote can do something as a result. So it would be really scary if somebody was putting up a vote that could send all of the bonk out of the treasury, and you didn't have something to like kind of like point out, hey, this is a little different. So I understand some of these trade-offs, but I think that there's been a lot of great feedback on this. As somebody who's also working somewhat on this project, I think some of the feedback has been phenomenal. There's a few things that have already been pointed out that I've been taking notes on. So, as somebody who's, doing feedback, but also now in the pleasurable position to be part of like having built and then hearing the feedback, this is so valuable to us, really. Like this kind of feedback is invaluable. It's the first time that I get to see it. And, really, you guys have done a great job on this one. I would like, if we could use some time to talk about the proposal itself, because I think that's really important to Bonk. As a Bonk holder, I really want this to pass. So if you guys don't mind, I'd like to use some time to talk about the proposal as well.
Yes, let's do that. Before we do that, I want one comment from each of you. If you had to change one thing in this bonkdao.com, but only one thing, which one would it be? Let's start from scientist.
So it's pretty simple and straightforward in its execution. The only thing I would say is missing is the add token feature. I think from the first impression you have of your voting power, it shows it in like if you don't have any voting power, it shows you 0. But I'm usually used to the Realms UI showing me without clicking any button the amount of voting power I have in my wallet that already needs or that could be potentially deposited in the platform. So the only way for me to know this is by clicking the add button. And if I don't have any idea that there's any token in my wallet, I wouldn't even know about, like, I would be thinking of going to buy. And then when I click the add button, that's the only way. So I think that for me will be the missing link in my own user experience. Yeah.
Love it. This is a quick round. Untied Bear. Which one would you fix if you had the chance to fix one?
Yeah, for new users at the buy and lock options and stay on the side. That would be
Probably
my
just
only change.
utilizing more of the
Because on
screen,
Totally
and then
agree.
many of the cool stuff
Baba,
we said could be added as well in a simplistic way, minimalistic way. Also helps with the comments.
I love this quick round. Legend.
Something to fix or something to add? Or just fix?
Fix or add, it's in you. You can only add one. It's a genie that grants you only one wish.
I'll add a search bar so you can search for past proposals by a keyword or something.
Nice. Takisol.
Add a live timer for the remaining time for the vote and make it to be red when the vote closes to an end.
Before I go to Din Machine, I'll go myself and translate the instruction within the page. Allow me to click here and a pop-up button, a pop-up little cloud comes out and tells me what the instruction does without me leaving. Din Machine, what would you fix or change?
Of course, you also like say the like hardest one to possibly do.
Do you remember this awesome hackathon project that used to translate instructions and transactions in general
Yeah, it was
using
vaporware, man.
AI to simple English?
It was
That was like
vaporware.
2 years ago. Where are we?
Yeah. That trust me, the translating instructions thing is super hard. And what's nice is like at least you know
Let's put Legend to write a little text. He knows all the instructions. He knows all the documentation. He'll just write, this is burning coins.
So I think I really like the comment that Legend brought up that the icons at the bottom aren't leading anywhere. I think that's like low hanging fruit, and then like things we've talked about, like leading people to something else as part of the ecosystem. I think that's low hanging fruit that like really just like makes the experience better. I also really like the comment you made about the PFPs, making that process easier for people. Because there is no way you're going to figure out on this page how to do it. You can't do it from here. You would have to be on Realms to do the
PFP. Amazing session, guys. I think that's it from the feedback. Let's talk a little bit about the actual proposal, since we're all Bonk holders. We've all participated in the awesome events, in the awesome reward rounds. So let's, I think that's a pretty important vote. Anybody wants to describe it to the audience and maybe we can discuss it? Do you want to do the honors, Din Machine?
Yeah, so this is a vote to burn Bonk. And this is a way that accrues more value to Bonk holders because there's going to be less supply. I think it's all around. Like there's only two options you have to do. Like one is you either burn it or that you're going to use it in some way. Generally speaking, I think it's the Bonk team communicating that look, we're well capitalized. We have funds and ideas with our existing resources. This is a way to bring more value back to the DAO. So as a Bonk holder, this is a no-brainer for me to vote yes. I would like to hear if anybody thinks otherwise, but yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. And what's incredible is how much Bonk has voted. Quorum, even though you can't really clearly see it here, quorum is almost achieved. Over almost 1 trillion Bonk has voted. So that's pretty wild, pretty incredible how many people have interacted with it.
Impressive. 1 trillion Bonk out of the 70 trillion in the supply, in the circulating supply. So that's a large number of Bonk. It would be easier if I understood how much versus the total supply this would be. I am on board 100%. I think burning the Bonk earned, because these are like earnings from fees. They do signal they're very well capitalized, and that's 83 billion Bonk, which represents about 0.1% of the circulating supply, roughly, which is not a little. It might sound a little, but it's quite a lot. If they continue doing this every couple of months, there is this is going to translate in increase of value in the holders' wallets. So yeah, I'm totally on board, and it signals the right things from the Bonk DAO, from the Bonk community, the Bonk leadership. Any comments? Anybody, please pick up the mic and go on.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think the proposal speaks for itself in the sense that it's not even a battle of, yes or no. It's a landslide yes. And if 95% of voters are saying, yes to this, I think there's a pretty good reason why this is a good idea. Yeah, there's a saying, vote people day, the voice of the people is the voice of God. So I believe, yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction for the Bonk community.
You try to say something, Untied Bear.
yeah, I
ahead.
would like to add, maybe refresh my knowledge, because it was, I think, 3 months ago, there was actually similar proposal from Bonk on the realms, which failed. The proposal. I think you can load more proposals to see the last one, the first one. I think here also. The amount was also different. So my question is, maybe more people know, is so this is something we can expect like every month, because it's the earnings from the Bonk bot, right?
Yes, every couple of months. I see this happened 3 months ago. There is a Burn Bonk token earned from Bonkbot, and I think this did not reach quorum. But I
True.
also think that this website, bonkdao.com, was not online. We did not have that. So people needed to go to app.realms.today to go to the BonkDAO, deposit and vote. So comparing these two similar votes, because they are doing exactly the same thing, they're burning supply earned from Bonkbot, we can see the effects that the BonkDAO voters UI has. The BonkDAO is reaching quorum because they streamlined and they allowed the users to vote in a very, very easy and straightforward way, versus the one that happened 3 months ago that required them to go to the original application of Realms. So if we compare these two outcomes, we can clearly see the benefits the voters UI is bringing to the table. Baba, Legend, Taki, what do you think about the proposal?
I think it's a good proposal. Like it's as Dean said, to accrue value of the token, but I also think they should switch sometimes the type of what to do with the bonk earned. So instead of burning it, maybe 1 month they do a grant. So they do a grant of maybe integrating bonk in some way, like DeFi, social, maybe some rewards and stuff like that. So instead of just burning it, maybe switching up, how they use the bonk. But it's fine either way. So it's just switching up get the game a little bit, and that's it from me.
That would be a good multiple choice proposal, right? Like, hey, for next one, here are some ideas that the community has come up with instead of burning that we could use. That's a really good idea.
I would add that it's interesting in the proposal description, which can see better days in terms of formatting. That the last sentence is focused, on describing
I think it's technical problems from Taki Sol.
Every time he's about to drop some knowledge.
Unfortunately, yeah, we'll have to fix it. We're missing a very important voice.
I'm just second what Legend said. I mean,
Baba?
there are not infinite amounts of options you can go from here. But what Legend said was a great alternative to simply burning it every so often and making it a more scarce token, although it still has a big supply. This is true. This is true, but again, I
burning
think
is the only way to ensure not selling.
finding effective ways to distribute even more to the community might have a better, long-term effect. So that I mean, finding different ways so that partnerships, if we could say, between Bonk and other communities could flourish by that, allocating percentages of the collected Bonk, and in return the Bonk community could get something else. I don't know, testing a new application first, getting alpha access, having some perks in another community, who knows.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand where you're coming from. Burning is a low-hanging fruit. It's the easy way to increase the value in the voters' wallet. Let's put it that way. But I still like it. I still think this is very important. I think some more metrics, a little bit more, so I understand the impact of the burn instead of me having to calculate. Oh, how much are we burning versus the total supply or the circulating supply? How much percentage-wise is the Bonk I'm holding increasing because of this vote, even if it's theoretical? And also, like, urge me, make me go vote, connect it to everything. I'm pretty sure this is a step for the Bonk Dragon. I'm pretty sure interacting with the Bonk DAO, locking tokens, doing all these things, just show it to
Couldn't
me.
it also
Give me
be, I
more
mean, with
to
the
play
tokens,
around.
if
Don't let me
they
leave.
were, the Bonk community was to do it more often for these tokens that are collected, to do something with them, that like a structure could be developed where a percentage of these tokens will be burnt each time, but a percentage of these tokens will be allocated to, I don't know, DeFi platforms, to specific communities of different type, and therefore someone could be either voting. So this is like a plan that takes a bit more, it's a more long-term plan. So you vote on all these different sections, which, the various projects that are participating, let's call them tracks. And you can have in these tracks where we can invest in, we have these projects, in this, percentage will be burnt, and then the community gets to vote. And then you kind of have like a monthly plan. So for this month, this is how all the collections will be allocated. Do you agree or don't you agree? And it could just, it could add more reasons for a user to vote and to participate in Bonk governance.
I see your point. Yes, it's more interactive. Is adding more options. More options is freedom. So yeah,
Yeah.
I will always support more options. Something that I'm looking at here. Should I be able to withdraw it from here as well, or I need to go to my profile? How can I withdraw from the realms?
It's the same.
Same thing. I have to go in and withdraw. Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Gotcha.
going to be faster for you to withdraw from the Bonk DAO one.
Because
So
it's not gonna ask me to unwrap it from each.
correct.
No, I'm not gonna withdraw. I was just playing, making sure that everything works. So I removed my vote from here. No, I haven't. And it was not reflected on this one. That doesn't matter. Most probably I had refreshed, it would. We are already past the 1 hour mark, guys. This flew really fast, over 1 hour and 10 minutes into the recording. Before we close it, anything you would love to add? Anything you would like to see from Bonk DAO, Bonk Rewards, Bonk in general, Realms, Dean's List DAO? A bunch of organizations here.
Yeah, I would like to add like a small thing, but one of the options maybe for the instead of burning this, maybe give an option like adding it to Bonk rewards. This would also maybe let more people want to lock more, but also have more voting power to vote also for this, like as an idea.
Yeah, I
or
really like
forever locked Bonk.
I really like the way the flow of this review session happened, because it's a lot deeper than in some of other ways. It's not just product; it's also thinking about the overall ethos, the tokenomics. I really enjoyed doing that. So thank you to Bonk also for having such a rich kind of ecosystem for us to touch on, right? Because we were able to go over the rewards, how the rewards interact with the voting, and then we were able to talk about the proposal. I think it's a really good example for other protocols to look at. These kind of multifaceted worlds where you don't really need to build many tools. You can use existing ones. It's just using your token and your community to interact with everything. So Bonk's the best example of all the things you can do on Solana.
Adding one last feedback point, which I realized, is that the moment you remove your vote, it removes all your comments. It makes sense in hindsight, but I would love a warning telling me that yes, you're removing your vote. Makes sense. I totally get that. It will also remove your comments. Just that. Other than that, thank you to the Bonk team for engaging with the community, with using all the tools around, for integrating with a bunch of dApps, and being the number one community coin in the ecosystem. Amazing job, and I look forward to the next inflatable boxing match, and I'm pretty sure this time we will win. So again, thank you to the Dean's List DAO, thank you to the Realms team and the Bonk team, thank you to Scientist Joe, Untied Bear, Baba, Legend, Akisol, and Dean, and we'll see you very soon for another Bonanza. Thank you everybody. See you soon. Join the Dean's List DAO if you want to join this kind of review sessions. You get a lot of alpha, you get to connect with amazing people in the Solana space, so why sleep on it? See you soon.